It's time! Mahomes is the greatest. And the Chiefs have won Super Bowl 57! Travis Kelce down the sideline! WrestleMania! It's Luka Magic, baby! 3 for 3! Kobe Bryant with 81 points! LeBron for the baseline! You're listening to Jay Rich Talk. Jay Rich Talk. Jay Rich Talk. And it starts now. Now. What is going on, guys? It is another episode of Jay Rich Talks. It's been quite a while. We got a lot to discuss, but we're back, and today it's going to be a little different. It's going to be how it's going to go for quite a bit now. I feel like the future of the podcast is going to be more so centered around sports, which is what I wanted it originally to be. My buddy Devin, fellow co-host that you guys hear from quite a bit, me and him in a Vision of Wrestling podcast as well, and I kind of wanted to do a little bit of everything, but with the world of pro wrestling, the attention has to go to it so much. Every Monday, every Friday, every Saturday, once a month. Which the Saturdays, I was pissed at first because I'm a huge UFC guy, but at least I know that won't be an issue going forward no more. But it was a little frustrating then too, but it was also a blessing because it didn't get in the way of football. But the last few weeks of football, Saturday night games are fucking amazing, and I'm not gonna lie to you. December, there'll be no more pay-per-view reviews or PLE reviews for WWE. I guess we'll get some updates about the podcast and where it's going to be going. I do intend to potentially still use Podbean. And the old episodes will most likely remain up. But they'll probably be getting moved to a Patreon. So don't, download them while you can. But I don't, I have a different direction for the podcast now. I'm not trying to use as much language. Me and Devin just kind of shoot the shit like we normally do. We're in a party full, rambunctious, people in their like college years age, and when you have a whole bunch of people in their early 20s, you can say some wild shit. I'm getting to that point where I'm 27 years old, so I'm trying to realize that what we have here could actually be bigger if we worked on some stuff. So that's definitely going to be a change going forward. Don't get that wrong. It's not like I'm not going to curse. Fuck that. Me, I don't give a fuck. But we're going to stop using some vulgar languages that could upset potentially minorities of certain gender, races, sexualities, and we're definitely going to work on that. I definitely understand the climate of the world right now isn't the greatest for people, and that's in those categories, and I don't want to upset them. We actually had fellow people on the show that fell into all kinds of those categories. Devin being a minority himself and his color, ex co-host who I don't talk to as much, but Nate, he falls into a category. So a lot of those guys, I don't want to upset. They may not mind it, but I can understand that there's people out there, and I definitely I'm envious towards that. So we will be working on that going forward. Just want to let you guys know that up close and personal. I do apologize if I offended anyone before. Once you turn, this age and you start getting older and you start looking at your podcast, and at first it was just a hobby and you guys are fucking around, but now I'm realizing that it's an opportunity, and I don't want to squash that opportunity for us just saying some dumb shit, even if we didn't mean no hate or anything behind it. It's just how we talk. You look at something, you call it stupid, but you realize that could offend someone that suffers from stuff. So we're going to work on it. It's mainly more so what I'm worried about is that more than anything, but because I do see this show being great for everyone. I feel like there's a lot of people that can benefit from this with the climate of how bad sports talk is and the growth of sports talk on social media. I feel like you can't really go anywhere to get reliable sports news now unless you're on YouTube or some kind of podcast. And I want to be able to provide as good a show as I can for everyone of all kinds of, different, classes of people that, I want them to feel at home listening to this. Especially as a Chiefs fan, I know we have a lot of Swifties coming in, and I want them to feel as happy as hell because I am, and I can't wait to talk about the Chiefs. But we're going to run through the NFL. I was intending to do a show about the NFL with my buddy Noah, who we're in a fantasy football league with. Don't really want to talk about my fantasy league. We'll get into it a little bit, but it's been really bad. Just for all the Nick Chubb owners, Cooper Kupp owners, Mike Williams owners. Let's see here. Trying to think of who all season has been cut short because of my the cursed fantasy team that I have. But we'll get, like I said, we'll get into that because trust me, if you are on my fantasy team, it's almost as bad as the Madden curse. There's been so many guys getting hurt. It's fucking ridiculous. Oh, the Dolphins defense. I'm sorry, guys. That was my fault that Jalen Ramsey is out for the season. I had picked him, we always start like a week or two before the season starts, and yeah, that definitely didn't fucking help. But let me go ahead and we'll pull up the fucking week's games here from week 3. I guess I'll give a summary, just kind of talking about every team from the previous weeks as well. But like I said, we were going to do a show with my buddy Noah. Things got in the way. As you guys may know, I have a Mac. I also have my gaming PC, but I want to do the show on my Mac. I love editing on my Mac. However, I have an old Mac. Doesn't matter. It's still really good. It's a powerhouse. I love using Mac OS for editing. But this thing is running, or was running, on Monterey. I obviously used OpenCore Legacy Patcher to get it to there. Went ahead and did an OTA update because on Monterey you could not use or capture audio from your desktop or from other sources in OBS. So I went ahead and did an OTA update to Ventura, and didn't realize that you need to do that through OpenCore Legacy Patcher, because once I did that, my Mac was running as if it was in slow motion. Slow motion. Looking ass. But anyway, got that fixed up, and we're up and running now. We're recording as you hear me right now. I hope my voice sounds excellent. I did a couple of tests, but, outside of me talking a lot and doing all this off the cuff, I should have probably scripted some shit out. I'm sure people are easily offended. They may have taken what I had said at the beginning. They're bad, but, like I said, this is all unfiltered, raw commentary coming from the brain of me. So for better or for worse. Well, like I said, we're going to go through these this week of football, and let me first start off by saying this NFL season is fucking crazy. As a Chiefs fan, it was not looking good at the beginning, and like I said, I had my buddy Noah. He's a Cowboys fan, so Buddy Media, he may be jumping on the show from time to time. He's also a Cowboys fan. But buddy Nick, he also watches wrestling. He may be on the wrestling shows, because I will say, the wrestling is not over, but we don't know how it's going to go yet. Depends on the new platform, which I'll touch at the end of this podcast. But for right now, we're just going to go into the NFL talk, and we'll catch up at the very end. But just know, wrestling's not over, guys. Wrestling fans, I'm sorry you had to wait 7 minutes to hear that, but, just hang in there with me, and I'll get you there. But anyway, we're going to talk about the NFL and where I see each team. So I guess we'll just kind of go through the divisions here, and we'll do it that way. And then I'll go through the games from week 3. I will not be talking about week 1 or 2. I'm sorry. I know I missed out on those. But like I said, we're all up to date now. So next time, week 4, we should be able to have a show. And I guess this will also be a prediction as well, but it's also a recap of week 3. So it's going to be a mess, but we're going to get this structured out. It's going to be a lot better. So, but looking at the teams here, let's go ahead and start with the NFC, because I feel like it's a lot more wide open. Really only legitimately probably 3 or 4 teams that I see having a chance. And we'll just start from, I guess we'll go in clockwise. We'll start at the North. So the North is actually the division that I've been paying a lot of attention to, mainly because my buddy, Nick, and then I also paid a lot of attention to the East. But it's also the division I feel like a lot of people are paying attention to, because there was a whole bunch of question marks in this division. A lot of people saw it as the Vikings division to lose. A lot of people came into it thinking the Lions were going to dominate this division. A lot of people came into it thinking that the Packers had no chance in hell. Yet, as we speak, kind of spoiler alert, going into week 4, the Packers are atop the division. We'll see if that changes, obviously, when they play the Detroit Lions Thursday. But yeah, so and then the Bears, a lot of people thought, oh my God, here we go. Justin Fields, he's got weapons. He's got Chase Claypool. He's got fucking DJ Moore. You know, the offense is going to be, you know, it was never the issue. Offensive line's going to get better. We spent all this money. The defense is going to get better. We had a tremendous offseason. We don't need the fucking first pick. We traded that shit. All kinds of, you know, there was big excitement for people in Chicago. And I guess you could say they feel the love. Yeah, it's not looking too good in Chicago. You know, especially it just had to be week 1 too. Week 1, as all that excitement comes, it just gets fucking burrowed out of them inside of one. I felt terrible for Chicago fans having to watch that shit. Man, there's so many issues with that team. The O-line looks like shit. Justin Fields can't do nothing. The receivers don't seem to know how to fucking catch. I would know a lot about that. I'm a fucking Chiefs fan. Kadarius Toney, we'll get to that. But you know, they were having a whole mess of issues, and I feel bad for the Bears. I feel bad for the Bears fans. You know, I'm envious with that whole organization right now because I know that they probably went into this season looking like, hey, look, we may not win, but we're going to come out of this looking pretty good, still get a high draft pick, and they thought they would be a lot further than where they are, and here they are 0-3. So, not looking good. Then we get to the other team in the division that's 0-3, and that's the Minnesota Vikings, who, like I said, there was a lot of people thinking it was still their division to lose. You know, they looked really good last year. Their defense has obviously been shaky. I've been preaching that for years now, that the biggest problem with Minnesota is their defense, and yet here we are, and they've allowed 82 points going into week 4. It could be worse. They could have allowed 106, like the fucking Bears. They also could have allowed... could have allowed 122 like the Broncos. But we'll go in Broncos country. Let's cry. Hey, we'll get into that. But, you know, look, Bears fans, it could be a lot worse. I feel like there is still some upside, but I will say this. I am not a believer in Justin Fields. I think that experiment it's done. But we're not going to know what he is capable of, or the run game, or anyone for that matter, until the O-line issue gets addressed. I feel like the biggest problem with Chicago right now is on both sides of the football, offense and defense. They are losing the battle at the line because your secondary can be as garbage as you want it to be. If you can win the battle at the line, you can win some football games. Look at the Tennessee Titans. I mean, yeah, they're well coached, which also helps. But the Tennessee Titans, a big reason that they had that big stretch in the playoffs a few years ago, big reason they were looking really good, was that defensive line was getting through. They were creating a lot of pressure. They were able to stop the fucking run, keep the TOP in their fucking favor because the other team can't run the ball. They're running the ball, and they're running it through your fucking throat. So, I mean, they were just begging people to pass by stuffing that fucking run. And, Tennessee looked really good. Now they're obviously suffering, but, the Bears, they can't even do that. They have no pass rush. None. I mean, Mahomes could have fucking baked a goddamn cake, ate 2 sandwiches, sent a couple of emails, fucking fucked his goddamn intern. Like, he could have done anything he wanted in that backfield. There was nothing that was going to happen. Jordan Love, the Packers O-line, they're not the greatest either. They're a little banged up. David Bakhtiari has some issues. And they were blocking the fucking Bears as if they were goddamn fucking high school. Like they were a fucking D2 team. It was embarrassing. So the Bears have got to work on their defense first and foremost on the D line, and then the O line is the biggest issue when it comes to the offense, because you're never gonna know if you have a chance to to do anything with the goddamn football if there's no holes and if you're getting put in the fucking dirt. So I'm telling you, man, that's something that people do not pay enough attention to is the battle at the line, and I feel like that's where the Bears got to improve on is both those fucking areas. They got the pieces on offense to be explosive. They have, not as many pieces on defense, but it could at least get them by if they had a pass rush. So I look forward to seeing the Bears in the off season because it sounds pretty bad that I'm pretty much already saying the season's over, but look forward to seeing who they pick up in the off season. I would double down on the fact that they're probably going to grab a gigantic amount of defenders out of the draft, particularly D linemen. But we'll see. We'll see. They definitely have some linebacker issues too. No one knows how to play any coverage on that fucking team. And then we get to the Detroit Lions. So much to say about this team. The offense looks just as good as it did last year. Didn't look that great in week 1 against the Chiefs, though. Because Chiefs defense played pretty fucking good. Held their asses to fucking goddamn 14 points. You know, Kadarius Toney didn't help because he forgot how to catch a fucking football. And then, because he could have won us that game on that 3rd down catch where we were trying to go down, kick a fucking field goal. Penalties didn't help in that game. Juwan Taylor is a fucking clown. And that whole situation is a fucking mess. They did not, their offense was struggling in that game. Next game, they come out and they go crazy against Seattle and couldn't get the job done. Because the one problem with Detroit was that their defense is not consistent. That was what, they had seen that last year. They'd have games where they'd shut people out, like they shut out the Packers. I mean, granted, the Packers had some offensive struggles, but fucking, they would shut out guys, that should be able to, score against them, and then the very next fucking goddamn game, they're allowing 30, 40 points. So the Lions, I feel like, they have some guys, they have some ballers over there, fucking Detroit. Let me tell you what, that team has got some fucking ballers. In particular, that motherfucking Hutchinson, the D lineman, he looks like a fucking beast. On the offensive side of the ball, Amon-Ra St. Brown looks amazing. Jared Goff is underrated. There's so many pieces on there. Reed looks good. I'm telling you, man, like, the Lions, they got the offense part down. Their defense can play good. It's just, can they play good in the right moments? Last week, they did it or this week rather, whatever, against Atlanta. Looked pretty solid. Would have liked to see the offensive performance be a little better, though. Jared Goff had some problems there, but it is Detroit's secondary, and they're pretty good, or Atlanta's secondary, so I can't fault on them too much, but yeah, I was expecting a little more out of their offense coming off of that loss to Seattle. But nonetheless, they looked really fucking good, and I'm sure Detroit will be fine. Do I think they'll win the division? Well, man, I'm going to tell you right now, I know it's only week 4, but I really do think that this game is going to be a big telling between them and Green Bay, because then we get to the next team in the NFC North, the Green Bay Packers. And a lot of people have been talking a lot of shit. Didn't think that team had a snowball's chance of hell of fucking winning the division, making the playoffs. Jordan Love, oh my God, he's terrible. They're not going to do shit. Well, Jordan Love looks like he's the fucking guy. I ain't saying he's going to be the best in the league. He's probably not even going to be a top 5 quarterback, but he looks like he has that fucking talent to get at least in the fucking top 10. And he at least looks like he can win them a fucking football game, especially one where they're down, and he did that against the Saints. And I'm telling you right now, if he can continue to shine in clutch moments like that, if that motherfucker can make those throws, it's not like they don't got talent. Romeo Doubs surprised everyone. Fucking Reed, Jalen Reed, something like that. The wide receiver they have, the other one, rookie, looks really fucking good. Christian Watson, we know he can play. Last year he started looking good at the second half of the season. Fucking, Aaron Jones, fucking one of the best running backs in football. The quad father and A.J. Dillon, there's some pieces there. The offensive line's banged up, but they didn't look the greatest. That's why this is going to be a big test for them, because they're going to be going up against Detroit. And I feel like Detroit's biggest fucking component on defense is their fucking pass rush. When you put Detroit's pass rush down, though, they are a beatable fucking team, because that secondary is young and they're inexperienced and they can be fucking slapped around. So we're going to see what's going to happen. I feel like for Green Bay to have any success this year, especially in this game, I know it's going to be tough because we don't know the status of Aaron Jones, but I'm going to tell you right now, if Green Bay can establish a fucking running game, they could be one of the most lethal teams with that fucking play action, running some crazy fucking formations, twin tight ends. I know they don't really have the receiving tight end, spot with that, but they have so many run plays they can establish there. Some, dual backs in the backfield, all kinds of crazy shit they can do. And when you have fucking, Aaron Jones back there who looked fucking tremendous week 1, I really feel like the ceiling is high for them because of the level of play of Jordan Love. And the defense is playing phenomenal. Not the secondary so much, but Rashawn Gary had a fucking career game. I will say this about the Packers. I know it sounds a little biased because my buddy's a Packers fan, but I'm telling you, Rashawn Gary looked fucking great. And so we're gonna see how the Packers look. I know the Saints O line's not the greatest. I know the fucking they haven't truly been tested yet, but their pass rush has been pretty fucking consistent. I know they played the Falcons and the Saints and the goddamn Bears, but like I said, this is going to be a test. So we'll see how Green Bay looks. I had to pick one, probably leaning towards Detroit. I trust their offense more, but their offense won't be able to do shit if fucking Green Bay can run the ball. Dominate TOP, keep the ball out of fucking Jared Goff and all those ridiculous receivers' hands. Don't give them a chance to score on you. The Lions love to run the ball too. Don't let them fucking do that. And they have a fucking chance. So especially with Biggs and all them motherfuckers on the Lions, you don't want to give them a chance to fucking, to score on you like that. So I feel like the Packers run the ball, eat TOP. We're going to see how that game goes. But if they can do that, they can beat a lot of fucking teams, man. It's just a matter of staying healthy. And a matter of, like I said, running that fucking football. Because the reason I put so much emphasis on that, the Packers are just like the fucking Chiefs. They have a really bad tendency to abandon the running game fairly early in the game. They fucking keep that running game up. They get those fucking injuries taken care of. And fucking, I know Yair just went out and they got some fucking injuries on defense now. But, man, pass rush, run game, you're going to win some fucking games. Now, like I said, we're going to go clockwise. So let's go to the NFC East. Not as much to talk about in this division. I will say the Giants fucking shocked me, seeing them get blown out the way they did. I don't think anyone would have predicted the Giants would have came into the season, going 6 whole quarters. Between 2 games, going 6 whole quarters without a fucking point, and allowing fucking 60 points to begin the season without even scoring 1. But man, I mean, they turned it around against Arizona. Obviously everyone knew it was going to be a massacre against San Francisco, because San Francisco looked so good early on. I mean, well, that's the thing about the beginning of the season. Most of these teams are still trying to figure out, they're trying to get gelled up. A lot of these teams are pretty new. They have a lot of young talent on it, or they have a lot of fucking, they picked up some guys in the offseason. So they're not going to look the greatest right off the bat. You can never judge a team based off of the first few weeks. But fucking the Niners and the Cowboys and a few others just came out guns fucking blazing. And the Niners look really fucking good, man. So I can't take that too much away from the Giants. I mean, they could have put more of a fucking fight up. But big thing with the Giants, kind of similar issue that the Bears have. Don't really like their pass rush. Could be way fucking better. O-line, you might as well throw it the fuck away when they were playing the Cowboys. They have turned it around slightly, but and Daniel Jones, it really comes down to his level of play. I mean, at one point during the Cowboys game, he had a QBR of 8. 8. That's fucking terrible. I mean, the only way you can have a worse QBR is if you put up what Eli Manning did. Eli Manning is the only quarterback that successfully got a negative QBR. To even get to 0, like fucking Peyton Manning had mentioned, to even get to 0, you have to throw the ball enough times and do enough things. It's virtually impossible to have a QBR below 0, and Eli Manning found a way to do it. So, but when you're that close to having that piss poor of a fucking QBR, something's going on, man. Like, you can't be doing that. And the Giants just did not put up a fight at all against the Cowboys. No one could have expected that. Saquon hurt. That's not good. The offense, I thought they were going to look so much better with Darren Waller, and then it would free up those receivers more. And I really thought we'd get to see if they have any talent or not. Well, doesn't seem to be that's the case at all, because ain't nobody doing nothing, man. They're a run the fucking ball team, but I also feel like they have terrible time management. Brian Daboll looked so good last year, and he has started off so fucking terribly this year, man. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully the Giants get it figured out. Can't be allowing so many fucking points. It's abysmal. Then we get to the Commanders, and my God, has Eric Bieniemy fucking turned that team around. So for reference, the Commanders, I mean, these motherfuckers couldn't do fucking jack diddly squat last year, and here they are 2-1. I already see that as a fucking win. Their offense looks really fucking good. Even all things considered in the Bills game, I know Sam Howell had a terrible performance, But Sam Howell also was getting them down the field. They were marching. They were fucking, getting down, and they just couldn't score, man. And then every time, they're going down there, he'd throw a fucking pick. Too many wasted drives. End up being a blowout, But there is some fucking serious talent on that Commanders team. That offense looks really fucking good. Eric Bieniemy's going crazy. Scary Terry's underrated as shit. You got fucking Robinson in the backfield. I feel like he's underrated. Sam Howell, when he plays the way he plays, like he did against the Cardinals and some other team, like he can look fucking ridiculous. Like that game against the Broncos, he looked really fucking good. And then he had a game against the Bills. Now I know it's the Bills defense too. And I was expecting a lot of them coming out this year. Matt Milano continues to get better. Tre'Davious White looks good. We'll get to the Bills later, but I mean, they do have a really good, solid fucking unit. They've had some struggles too, so that's why I thought that game would be closer than it did. But man, you can't shit on the Commanders, dude. I think they have a chance, not in their division. They have a chance to show everyone they got some talent this year, and as long as they don't win too many games, because I don't see playoffs or anything like that in their future. I mean, they might make the playoffs, but it would hurt them more than anything because I don't feel like they have the talent to continue this. It would be like one of those like 1 year things, kind of like how Jacksonville went to the fucking AFC Championship that 1 year, and then they just went right back down to nothing because they just didn't have the talent to maintain that. You got to have that. So I feel like with Washington, they can draft better. Get them draft picks. I'm not saying tank, but play good, show everyone you're good, and then get them fucking picks, man. So they look good though. Defense, defense has been fucking solid. They went into last year, I think they were the 7th or 10th ranked defense, something like that. Coming to this season looking really fucking good too. So don't sleep on fucking Washington, man. But then we have the two big ballers of the NFC East and of the NFC in general. Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles. And as much as it'll pay me to say it for Noah Media, and I don't want to sound like a Cowboys hater, although I am. No, I'm just playing. No. The Cowboys got some fucking problems. And these problems were seen in the previous two games, and no one was paying attention. It seemed like I was the only one screaming it until I heard Shannon Sharp say it the other day. That fucking team is having problems scoring the fucking football in the red zone. I mean, last week, week 3, they went fucking, 1 for 5? And then the week before that, they were like 2 for 6. And it seemed like every time they're scoring, it's a goddamn field goal. They ain't getting enough touchdowns. And I know they're desperately missing Ezekiel Elliott on that fucking goal line. I know they're missing fucking Dalton Schultz. That team, and then, yeah, the O-line was banged up, but I don't want to hear that as a fucking excuse. You go back and watch that game, look at all the great fucking blocks they set up. That O-line came out and balled, even with Zach Martin and some of those guys down. So the big problem with that team, man, is just that fucking offense. I'm not a believer in that offense. Not enough guys stepping up. I feel like the load is kind of thrown onto CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard. Dak and clutch moments. Everyone showed that meme of Justin Fields, and there was like 3 guys wide open or whatever. The same meme needs to be made for Dak fucking Prescott, because there was a play in the red zone where, I mean, he could have dotted a whole bunch of guys, and he just threw it right at fucking triple coverage. I mean, there is a serious problem with the Cowboys offense, and until that gets fucking solved, man, I don't care how good your defense is. I don't care, because your defense ain't gonna play consistent every week. Because if they're on the field 24-7, they're gonna get hurt. I mean, granted it happened in practice, but fucking Trevon Diggs. Guys are gonna get tired. They're not gonna, they're gonna start declining. And that momentum that the defense has, that's a big thing. Football is a game of momentum. I don't think people realize how much, momentum plays a factor into a football game unless you've actually been on the field. But when you're winning and everything's going your way and you just feel like you're on top of the fucking world, I don't care how bad your team is, you may have legitimately less talent. You are going to make less mistakes and you're going to play better if you're hungrier and you just feel like you're on top of the world. If you are one of those teams that, like, you just feel like, oh, it's another thing and another thing and all this is happening. Oh, fuck. Now we're going to lose it. But everything's piling onto you. It gets worse and worse and worse. And I feel like the Cowboys offense has just not got a single bit of momentum this season. Even in that game against the Giants, do you know how many goddamn drives they had to settle for a field goal or punt that bitch? Like, they should have been scoring hand over fist in that game. Granted, I know they had the bench out for the whole second half damn near, but it's like, man, yeah, no, there's some serious problems in Dallas. The only reason that I think that they're still in the top 3 teams in contention of, for the NFC as a whole this year is because of how strong their defense is, though. Because let's not get that twisted. There's probably only like 3 or 4 or 5 defenses in the league right now that look as good as Dallas is, and none of them still come close, though. Dallas defense looks fucking good. I know they got cooked against the Commanders, but when you're on like I said, the defense was on the field all game. Momentum played a factor. I still take Dallas's defense over fucking anyone else in football right now. They're that fucking, I'm telling you, man, that fucking, and whoever Micah Parsons is playing for, give me that fucking team. Or, give me that defense. He is a fucking absolute stud. But it's not going to fucking matter if they can't score in the fucking red zone. It's like the strategy to beat the fucking, and they kind of got exposed with this too. The strategy of the fucking Cowboys is to just fucking make them run the length of the fucking field. Make them try to see if they can get a drive they can come all the way down. Fucking, obviously you need to stop the run so they don't kill you on TOP. But fucking, if you can fucking get the Cowboys to be forced to, throw the football, get them to fucking 3rd and long, let them try to drive the length of the field. The more the ball is in Dak Prescott's hands, the more the ball is reliant on the passing offense of that team, or even in the reliance on the running game, because the running game isn't consistent either. You can't sit there and run, first down to first down to first down for 4 straight quarters. You're going to get some stops on you. It's going to happen. And I just feel like if the ball is in that fucking passing, that's where the Cowboys are going to be beat. So they get that figured out. I don't know how they're going to look, but I just know if you have that defense, anything can happen. So we'll see. Then we had the Philadelphia Eagles, another really good fucking defense. And that team looks fucking hot right now. I know everyone's questioning the offense. They kind of have some similar issues, but they've at least shown they can fucking put some goddamn points on the board. And when they get into the fucking red zone, granted they've struggled from 5 yards out, 6 yards out, whatever. When they get up to fucking the 2 or 3, 4 yard line, it don't take them very long to get in position for that QB sneak. And it looks really fucking good already. The blocking's looking good. That whole fucking team, man. A.J. Brown, I mean, it feels like he hasn't had a lot. If you look at a box score, it doesn't show very much. But there's been so many big plays by him that have been taken away from a penalty here or there or something like that. I know he had a big touchdown catch that was taken away from a holding call. I believe it was last week. So he's been playing crazy. Devontae Smith, not that he had one really good fucking game. But the week before this week. But he's been struggling too. I don't know if it's a matter of just the teams they were playing against. They have been playing against some of the better secondaries. A lot of people, I feel like, completely undermine the Patriots. We'll see how they look, but I feel like the offense looks great. And whoever the fuck let DeAndre Swift go to the fucking Eagles is a fucking moron. I mean, he has just looked phenomenal with them. Their running game has looked fucking tremendous. Only sour spot on that team, honestly, for me, at least from a fantasy football perspective, especially Dallas Goedert. I don't know what's going on where he's not getting the balls thrown his way. If there's some kind of chemistry issue with him and Jalen Hurts, or he's just not getting his job done. He doesn't always look open, but there does seem some times where I'm surprised that he's not throwing it to him at least, because he always at least is it always looks like he's in an ability to make a play. He's always in a spot where he can make a play. It doesn't look like maybe he's not necessarily the most, the best target on the field sometimes, but I'm surprised that he's not throwing it to the safety blanket when they really need those 5 yards or something. And, maybe once he gets enthralled into the offense a little more, that'll help out, the rest of the team too. So, I don't know. And then I'd also like to see the Eagles come up with some more design plays for the running backs in regards to the passing game. I feel like, they already do it enough with screens and shit, but I mean, they did this, it was like a fucking flea flicker. that it was fucking nasty. It was like it went to one guy and then he swung around with like a sweep or something and then he flipped it back and then fucking it was like a crazy fucking play and it looked ridiculous. Like do some more shit like that. Get him involved. Have him do some crazy routes. Swift is a fucking beast. You guys got some dogs on that fucking team. Use them. You know. So Eagles, it's kind of their position where I'm at with them. They'll be fine. I feel like they're the favorites on the NFC side. Even more so than the Niners, just because I don't know if the Niners can stay healthy. I know Brandon Ayuk was having some issues. He got banged up in a game. I don't know if he's seriously hurt or anything, but just seeing stuff like that scares me. And then because I don't believe them as much, but especially some of the guys' track records like CMC getting hurt and shit. But the Eagles are a younger team. They're a stronger team. They've shown they have that experience now, and I feel like they're the favorites for me at least anyway to go to the fucking Super Bowl representing the NFC. So that's the NFC East. See here. Now I guess we're going clockwise, so we'll go to the South. This division is both the AFC and NFC South. I don't even know where to fucking start. Carolina, I feel like they played better football than their defense has, shown. I know they've allowed 81 points, but they've had some times where they've had some sparks. I feel like Bryce Young being hurt doesn't help. Although it didn't really, show in that last game. Like, fucking Andy Dalton was balling out. They have a lot of veterans on offense, and they were making big plays. I really like the signing of Adam Thielen. I just don't understand why they can't get over the hump right now, because I figured them or the Saints would be in the prime position to win the division this year. And I was leaning more towards the Saints, but I thought, okay, the Panthers have a pretty good shot. I feel like they're the second team. And then I felt like Atlanta was right there. And it's not looking like it with Carolina right now. I don't know what the fucking problem is. Granted, I watch the games on Red Zone, so I don't see everything, but from what I've seen of them, they do not look that fucking bad. I just can't understand why they can't get over the hump. I know their secondary gets kind of creamed at times. I know that, it doesn't make any sense to me. So we'll have to fucking see. I know injuries have always affected them. It looks like it's affecting them this year. So the Buccaneers. Biggest shock for me is seeing them at 2-1 and seeing where they're at right now. I thought they were going to be the one. If I had to pick one, if you told me, all right, there's 3 teams that are 2-1 in the NFC South going into Week 4, and one team's 0-3. Who is it? I'd be like, well, team 0-3 is Tampa. I would have been fucking dead wrong, because Tampa, their offense under fucking Baker Mayfield, I know he just had a bad game against the Eagles, but it is the fucking Eagles, people. He's been looking really fucking good. And that game against Minnesota should not be something to undermine. That offense of Minnesota is really good, and that Tampa defense fucking stopped them, dude. I know that Minnesota has some issues on offense where, for whatever reason, they'll go for the check down. Everyone criticizes Kirk fucking Cousins for that. I'm telling you right now, Tampa, man, like, they looked really, really fucking good. As far as I know, if I remember correctly, Ja'Marr Chase did not do shit in that fucking game. So, let me look at his stats in that fucking game. From what I remember, he was locked pretty good. Let me see here. Against the fucking schedule. Let's go to fucking Tampa. Game Center. Let's look at the box score. Ja'Marr Chase or Justin Jefferson. I keep saying Ja'Marr Chase. I just realized that. I apologize. Yeah, Justin Jefferson. I remember him having a crazy game. I guess maybe he had a pretty good game. He was 9 catches, 150 yards. I don't know why. I just remember him not looking that good in that game. I guess maybe I was thinking of fucking Addison, but TJ Hawkinson, he had 8 catches. He didn't go nowhere. Yeah. I mean, goddamn, that's another thing that's crazy about the fucking Vikings right now, too. You got fucking Justin Jefferson, who's leading the league in receiving yards. You have Kirk Cousins, who's leading the league in fucking passing yards. and you have fucking the guy on their defense. Can't remember his fucking name. He was leading the league in sacks with 5 sacks. Yet they're still 0-3. And I just feel like turnovers is the biggest thing affecting the fucking Vikings right now. But God, what a fucking shame. Well, yeah. So I mean, Tampa, that they look solid, man. Give me Tampa any day right now when it comes to some of these struggling offenses. I feel like they got a chance. I feel like where I'm shocked at though the most is their offense though. God damn, I did not expect Baker Mayfield to play as good as he did the first couple of games. See if that keeps going. And I know the teams they were playing weren't like the highest of caliber, and they did struggle a little bit in that Vikings game to put some points on the board. But we'll see. We'll fucking see. Let's go back to our standings here. Then we got the fucking New Orleans Saints. I feel like in the division they probably got the strongest defense though. They've looked really fucking good. Problem with that fucking team, man, is looking like it's gonna be fucking injuries. Derek Carr is down. Fucking chemistry at the receivers is gonna be a big thing. Olave, he looks good throwing a ball to Olave, Derek Carr. But I really want to see more out of Michael Thomas. Jimmy Graham, they brought him back. He got a fucking touchdown. But the tight ends, Kamara will help that team when he comes off a suspension. But until then, I don't know how the Saints will look really. I know their defense is pretty solid though, and it's crazy to see Cameron Jordan, some of those older guys, still playing at the level they're playing at. And then we got the Atlanta Falcons. I'm shocked to see them at the top of the division, but they, people are kind of sleeping on them too. That running game, man, like I said, you got a good pass rush, good defense, and run the ball. You can win some fucking football games. And Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, and they still have Cordell Patterson there too. That fucking goddamn trio in the backfield back there is fucking lethal. And then, in combination with Drake London, all that shit, everything's on the table for that offense to be fucking electric. O-line isn't terrible either. Like, I know there was didn't they just allow, like, they had a game where they had like let me see here. How many sacks did they allow in this last game? I would say it was this last one too. Sacks. Yeah, so I think it was this last game too. They got a majority of it too, because that does seem to be. I know the O line looks really good blocking, but I don't know. Pretty sure, from what I've seen, he was always looking fine back there. It just looked like he wasn't getting the ball out of his hands fast enough. I mean, maybe I'm talking out my ass, but definitely from what I've seen as a casual viewer watching on fucking Red Zone, I didn't see the fucking O line looking that fucking bad. 12 sacks. I know they had like one really bad game, but they held up against some other teams. So I know the Packers, I want to say that was the game that they got fucking creamed on, but for some reason it doesn't sound right. Let me look. Do some looks here. Let me sure I start taking some notes on this. Right now I'm just kind of, I said this is off the cuff, just kind of getting this going. Let's see here. Packers. I want to say it was this game they had quite a bit of troubles with, which would not shock me. Do you not show fucking sacks, goddamn NFL? Like, what the fuck? Why are you only showing me the offense? Why can I not view the defense? What in what? Ayo, NFL. Alright. Well, in that fucking case, let's go ahead and do it this way. Pull up fucking Google. At least I know they'll give me a fucking number. That's fucking embarrassing. Do better, NFL. Like, I'm trying to look at the fucking box score for your defense. Man. There you are, Atlanta. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. So it was this game against Detroit. Yeah, Detroit. 7 fucking sacks. Hey, look, man. And I'm pretty sure, let me look. I know fucking Hutchinson had balled out. Let me see here. He didn't. Oh, yeah, he had 2 sacks. God damn. Everybody got a fucking. They were just handing out sacks to everybody. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be a fucking problem. So 7 out of their 12. So I guess it wasn't the Packers game I was thinking of. For some reason, I want to say the Packers gave him a little bit of trouble, too. Let me see. Number on that one, too, because I swear. If there was one that it would have happened with, I thought it would have been the Green Bay game, but. Let's see here. Why the fuck are you being so stubborn? There it is. Okay, team stats. They only allowed 1 sack in that game. For some reason, I remember it being worse. Maybe I'm thinking of fucking Green Bay in it. Yeah, hey, look. If they can stop Green Bay, if they struggled against Detroit, I mean, Detroit's really fucking good. We'll just have to see, man. Like, because that's going to be the big thing with them, man, is the battle on the fucking line, because their run blocking is really good. Their running game is elite. But if you can't fucking protect the goddamn quarterback, which Desmond Ridder has been looking like a fucking bust to begin with, but it's not going to help if he's constantly in the fucking dirt. Like, that's not going to help anyone's fucking chances. So I don't know really what they're fucking... Let me look and see how they did against Carolina in regards to protection. 4. Okay. So, wow. Yeah, that might be a problem then. If Carolina... Because Carolina's pass rush is not on the level of fucking Detroit's or Green Bay's. And they're getting back there like that. That's not good. Okay. So, yeah, it looks like that might be the issue then. I mean, I will say, you know, when you have a team that can run block, it doesn't always necessarily mean it's going to translate well into passing. So, we'll have to see how that plays out. But just stay on fucking Google here. All right, and then finally, that's the NFC South. So let's get to the fucking West. This one's going to be pretty easy. Niners, nothing more, nothing less. No, I'm just playing. Cardinals, they look shocking against the Cowboys. They came out to play. Josh Dobbs, I've been impressed with him. He makes a lot of good plays on his feet. Brown looks like he's been helping him out quite a bit. James Conner said, "I'm still fucking here, motherfuckers." There's been some guys making some plays. A lot of guys I don't know. You know, I need to learn their names. But Arizona's looked pretty fucking good. The defense been the rocky part of the team, but they've actually, you know, held up for the most part. They're one of the only teams that actually has scored more in their fucking defenses allowed, particularly in that division too. Although there's a couple other guys have, but I feel like the ceiling is not as high for them as everyone else in the division though. And I do feel like that they're still going to have a rocky season. But it's inspiring to see them, because they could have just went full-on tank mode, and they were like, no, fuck that. So, good on the Cardinals. Big fucking win against fucking the Cowboys. I mean, I cannot stress how big that fucking win is for them. Rams, I just must be a fucking idiot, but I'm still a believer in the Rams. I mean, the offense is playing right now without Cooper Kupp. I know it'll be infinitely better when he's there. I feel like the biggest issue is that, from what I've seen, their fucking run game is abysmal. I know what's-his-face had a goddamn running back for them. He had like one good fucking game from what I've seen of Williams or whatever. But he has struggled. I mean, that game I watched them play against Cincinnati, and they couldn't do anything on the fucking ground. I mean, I know it's Cincinnati, but still, fuck. And Puka Nacua, great. It's a good problem to have when you got a receiver coming out of nowhere. Rookie is playing like that, so that's good. Matt Stafford, wish he wouldn't tuck and just eat the sack like that. I mean, I know he's older, but I'd like to see him try to still extend the play or to do something. But I think he just knows, because that's the biggest problem with that team is fucking O-line. I mean, by far. Them, the Broncos, and fucking a couple other teams probably have the worst fucking O-line in the fucking league. And then their defense is not playing at the level that the fucking Rams defense should be playing at. And they held the fucking Bengals pretty low. But I'd still expect a lot more out of the Rams defense, especially when you got someone like fucking Aaron Donald. So, And Seattle should not, like Seattle should not be in the position they're at over the Rams. I just feel like that's crazy to me. But Seattle's offense is the same legit. We'll go to them next. Man, Kenneth fucking Walker, what a fucking baller. He's still got the duo of fucking Lockett and fucking DK, so that's always going to be a plus. I don't think they expected to get that much out of their tight end this year, and he did really fucking good. Geno, it's not looking as hot as he did at the beginning of last season when he was going crazy, but he's still looking pretty fucking solid, and the defense has been the fucking bad spot for them. I mean, they've allowed 88 points, so they clean that fucking defense up. It seems like it's mostly their secondary, though, because I've seen them stop the run and get some pressure. Hasn't really translated into sacks too much from what I've seen, but they've gotten some fucking pressure. So Seahawks clean their shit up, and it'll be a lot better. But then you got the team right now next to the Eagles. I feel like, like I said, the reason I wouldn't pick the Niners, although you probably should at this moment statistically, the reason I wouldn't pick the Niners because I don't trust that team staying healthy. But fucking man, that team looks fucking legit right now. Believe they're, Cowboys allowed 38, they allowed 42 to the AFC side. Bills 35, 40. Yeah, so they got a top 5 defense right now. And man, they're definitely looking really fucking good, man. Like I'm telling you right now. Niners are the team to beat next to the Eagles in the NFC, man. It's the Eagles, Niners, Cowboys. If I had to pick another team to throw in that hat, maybe fucking Detroit. I wouldn't say Green Bay just yet. God, I can't pick anyone out of the South making any crazy noise. No one out of the fucking the East except for the Eagles and the Cowboys. I really feel like in the whole West, I just don't see, like, maybe if the Rams get it put together and they kind of start looking like the Rams from a couple of years ago, but let's be real, I think that ship's kind of sailed. We'll see. Like I said, I'm still a believer in Matt Stafford and that offense. I just feel like they're kind of going through some struggles right now, mainly with a lot of injuries and shit. The O-line's banged up. They're playing like dog shit, the O-lineman they do got. Their O-line has not looked the same since that fucking Super Bowl they won. Man, like, what is it to fucking see? I really feel like it's just those 3 teams, though. Maybe slide in the fucking Lions. Whoever wins the North, I feel like will have a pretty solid shot. But I don't see them getting past either Philly or fucking Philly or San Francisco. Dallas, I could see losing just people because they love losing in the playoffs. But now let's get to the AFC. I'm going to speed this up for time's sake. We're already at about an hour now, 52 minutes. Plus, there's not as much to talk about as you would think in the AFC, mainly just the North, the East, and the West. South is kind of just whatever because we get to the South, and who would have expected the Titans to be in the position they're at? I know they lost like 7 games in a row last year, and they were looking really tough, but they also looked really good at the beginning of that fucking season. And I figured, okay, they're going to pick it back up. Mike Vrabel is a fucking amazing coach. Defense always looked good. There hasn't really been many changes to that team, and Derrick Henry's back. But man, that fucking Titans team, it's like if you stop the run, they're fucked because Tannehill is so inconsistent. Hopkins did help, especially with the loss of A.J. Brown. But man, yeah, that they're having some struggles right now. I mean, I feel like they have one of the lowest scoring offenses right now. They're at 45. Who has the worst? Okay, the Giants have 43. And the Jets have 42. When you're in company with the fucking the Giants and the Jets, that's not a good fucking place to be. And there's another team in that place. 2 other teams rather. The Bengals and the Raiders, and we'll get to them, but there is some serious issues there. Man. Like, oh my God. Yeah. Definitely gonna have to change some shit there. Like that's not good. But in their secondary, I feel like it's just as bad as it was last year, though. There's one thing about Tennessee, like I said earlier, they always kind of gotten off on their pass rush and solid line play. Their fucking secondary has always been tested. So that's gonna be interesting to see if they can change that. Don't really look like they had the pieces out there, but we'll fucking see. They didn't look like it the year we won the fucking Super Bowl, the Chiefs. So I thought their secondary was overrated then too. We'll see. Jaguars, I'm disappointed. I thought they were going to be the ones to take this fucking division and run away with it, but so far they can't even win a fucking home game. Um, I feel like our defense played really well against them. They kind of struggled, but every time they got the ball, whether it was off of, because let's not get that twisted. A lot of narrative out of that game is that the Jaguars lost that game, and it's like in a sense, yeah, because you had 4 red zone trips. But what stopped them from scoring in the red zone? The fucking defense. And it was also a combination of, their defense is playing better than their offense in that fucking game. They gave them the positions to be in the fucking red zone. Mainly off of the Chiefs making some really dumb mistakes. So they didn't have a good outing against the Chiefs. And then fucking, they struggled fucking last week, which I didn't see fucking coming against the goddamn, what was it, playing the Colts? And they look like fucking shit. It just, Jaguar, or no, they played the Texans, my apologies. And, Houston, no one would have fucking thought they were going to be in the fucking running for this bitch, but here they are, same record as everyone else, and yet the Colts sit atop that bitch, and it's like, Jacksonville, I thought was going to run away with this shit. I really did. If there was going to be a team that was still 3-0, especially with Jacksonville's fucking schedule, they do not have that bad of a schedule. And I thought there was going to be an easy, 12 fucking, 13 wins for them. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case now. That offense has some issues. Fucking defense. I don't even know where to begin. They were allowing way too, they couldn't stop the run. My God. It's, we'll see about Jacksonville. I still believe in Doug Peterson, but man, that, God. I did not see that one coming. Houston, I feel like they're playing really hard. They played really hard at the very end of the season, shed away their fucking first round pick. But Houston, I just feel I don't believe in it yet. I mean, so far, CJ Stroud has definitely been, he's been the guy for them. He definitely looks like a fucking dog. But can that level of consistency stay there? I'm not buying it, but I've been wrong before. And I don't believe in their fucking defense. So we'll see. Indianapolis, that's a defense I do believe in. Although they have quite a bit of points, if they can start to get to the point where their secondary can match the level of play of their fucking pass rush, and their pass rush gets some better pursuit, they could be a fucking problem, because that pass rush is really fucking good, and they stop the run pretty well too. And that offense, I know Anthony Richardson's hurt, but he comes back. The fucking sky's the limit for that fucking team. I mean, if you can win games with Gardner Minshew, imagine what you could do if Anthony Richardson comes back, because he looked like a fucking dog too. And he keeps getting fucking concussed, so who the fuck knows what's going to happen with that one. And we'll go to the East. This is the fun division right now to talk about. You got the Jets, who, goddamn, I mean, that fucking video on TikTok or whatever, where it's like the fucking Madden Lowlight song, the fucking Like a Boss or whatever, and it's like him coming down the field, the fucking flag, and everyone's going crazy, and then it all went to shit. Man, I feel terrible for Jets fans right now, because that team is so fucking good, and they're losing games they should not be losing because of how terrible their fucking offense is. I mean, they had the Patriots on the ropes, and they couldn't do anything about it. They fucking at times looked good. Last week against the Cowboys, had them on the ropes. Cowboys holding them to fucking field goals, and they just couldn't go down and score. Oh my God. They looked phenomenal against the Bills. That's been my favorite Monday night game this year. I feel like everyone just did not see that coming, but goddamn, they look like shit. That Zach Wilson has got to go. The receivers on that team are way too talented for them to be playing the way they are. And the run game, Breece Hall looks fucking phenomenal. Dalvin Cook's been kind of a fucking flop. But we'll see. They've gone up against this thing. Jets had some pretty fucking steep competition at the beginning of the fucking year. You know, you go up against three of the best defenses in the fucking football league at the beginning of the fucking year, and the Patriots, the Bills, and the goddamn Cowboys. You're gonna have some struggles there, especially in the run game. We'll see how they fucking look as the year goes on, but man, like I really feel like they should be in a better spot right now. Then we get the Patriots, who, man, it's just their offense, bro. Like I feel like if they get that offense put together, and you know, I'm a believer in Ramondre Stevenson. I don't think he's going to be like a top 5 back or something, but I think he has talent. And I just feel like the problem is they rely on him too much. And then sometimes they rely on him too little. Fucking Mac Jones threw the ball fucking 54 fucking times against the Eagles. He actually looked pretty good, which was kind of concerning for the Eagles. I thought their defense didn't look too sharp in that game. And they did look a lot better later on, but man, like Mac Jones, if he can play like that, and then you had Kendrick Bourne stepping up, like I just feel like they need people to step up, man, and they're just not getting the production they need. But the Patriots feel like they can turn it around. I'm not a hater of Mac Jones. I actually think he's quite talented. I feel like people shit on him way too much. Give him time. You know, when he gets a really solid O-line, because right now it's another thing. Patriots O-line's really fucking shaky. You get him a solid O-line, you get him some, you know, some talent in there. He's got some decent receivers, but it's like they're all like 70, 80 overalls, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like they're like the mid pack. Get him like one good guy to throw the fucking ball to. You know, like one really good one, and we'll see what he can do. But yeah, I and Christian Gonzalez, holy shit, he looks fucking good. That motherfucker been making plays all fucking year so far. Don't know how they keep letting Bill Belichick get away with that shit, man. But yeah, then you have the Bills, and holy fuck, the start of the season was terrible for them. But they've turned it around. They look fucking explosive. Defense played fucking phenomenal last 2 games. No, I don't feel like they have anything to worry about. Just a really bad, rough start. You know, first 2 games for Josh Allen wasn't the greatest, especially that first one. But he's cleaned it up, and he looks like a stud now. So see how the Bills go. Looking forward. I don't really have much to talk about. Their defense looks great. It's only going to get better when Von Miller comes back. All the guys on their secondary are still playing at elite level. They keep progressing instead of regressing. I mean, like I said, Matt Milano is becoming slowly one of the better inside linebackers in the entire fucking league. They're getting there. It's getting there. Then you got the Dolphins. Holy shit. Beating a team 70-20 is fucking ridiculous. That is fucking crazy. Beating a team that's coming with a new coach, and they already had decent talent. You got some of the best coaching staff there possible. Is even more crazy. And doing it with your backups, with rookies that are coming out balling, like Aiken, whatever. Like, they look fucking ridiculous. If you haven't seen it, look up the highlights for that game. It was phenomenal. Tua looks great. I'm a believer in the Dolphins. I was a believer in the Dolphins last year. I mean, they gave the Bills a fucking fight in the wild card round without Tua. I feel like the problem the Dolphins have is injuries, though. We'll see if Tua can stay healthy. If Tua stays healthy, they got a good chance. And if they can keep Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle healthy, because that's their big component. The other big surprise part, though, is how good they can run the football. Raheem Mostert's always been slept on, but ain't nobody sleeping on him after this last fucking game. And with the fucking rookie and H-N, and they got, again, a couple other guys there, holy shit. Watch out for the fucking Dolphins. The defense, the secondary is a little spotty, but goddamn, their pass rush is good. They run a lot of cover zero. Vic Fangio, he's calling all kinds of great plays for him. He looks fucking phenomenal. Man, watch out for the fucking Dolphins, bro. I'm telling you, that team is going to be a fucking threat. Yeah, like it's going to be crazy. Then I guess we'll go to the north. I guess now we're going counterclockwise. My apologies. Bengals at the bottom of the division. I don't think anyone's seen. I had them winning the division this year, or at least being, in the early part being up. They look like shit. I know Joe Burrow's hurt, but I'm not going to use that excuse. I feel like the plays have been there, and the guys just aren't fucking connect. Like T. Higgins had 8 targets, and he dropped like 4 balls. Jamar Chase, teams have started to kind of figure out how to play him. I know they're missing Hayden Hurst bad, because the guy they got right now is he's a flop. O-line's getting beat, even worse than they did last year. I feel like the O-line's fucking horrendous. And I feel like the blocking for the O-line for running, that's a big problem because Joe Mixon is not able really to help him. That team needs to be able to run the football. But, they turned it around quite a bit against the Rams. They look pretty fucking solid. Passing game could be a lot better, though. Like I said, 4 drops, 8 targets. T. Higgins not looking good. Tyler Boyd not playing at the level he was last year. But we'll see. I feel like the Bengals are still a fucking elite team, though. Like, they're still... I feel like if I had to pick 3 teams out of the AFC, it's not changing. It's still the Chiefs, the Bills, and the fucking Bengals. I just feel like there's a new team in there that I feel like is better than all of them at this very moment. It's the Dolphins. Just because I feel like that offense, like I was saying, first few weeks, not everyone's all there. Fucking Dolphins are all there on both sides of the football right now, and they look fucking scary. So, Bengals look like the opposite of that. Browns, holy shit. Defense looks fucking phenomenal. Offense is clicking. And Nick Chubb's hurt, which is fucked. But Jerome Ford has stepped up. They signed Kareem Hunt. Deshaun Watson is balling the fuck out. Mari Cooper's paying off finally. Peoples-Jones is fucking underrated. That motherfucker's making some big plays. Can't remember who number 8 is, but they had some guy number 8. He was fucking balling the fuck out. And what a way to start the season, going fucking 2-0 in your goddamn division. That is going to be a huge factor come fucking playoff time. Because they realistically only need to win a couple more divisional games. And they have just as good a shot at everyone at getting a better seeding as long as their record lines up. That is going to be a huge fucking factor for them. So watch out for the fucking Browns, people, I'm telling you. Ravens, man, the injury bug, that's like the same problem I have with San Francisco. I don't trust them. I know they're not hurt right now, but I know it's going to happen. And everyone saw it coming with the Ravens. They can't stay healthy to save their fucking life. And it sucks to say that because that team looks fucking phenomenal. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards were looking great at week 1. And then J.K. Dobbins blows out his fucking ACL. Fucking Odell, he got limited targets in the first game, limited snaps too. But when he came out there and was catching balls, and caught a touchdown, he looked pretty fucking good. And he's hurt. And then, so the team they can't stay fucking healthy. Defense is banged up from top to bottom. There's even special teams unit guys that are banged the fuck up. Ravens just gotta get healthy, man. And they lost a really, close game against the Colts. But I feel like they shouldn't be ashamed, man. They looked really good in it. It's just the turnovers and sloppy football, putting guys in positions they didn't need to be in or don't have experience in. It'll get better, though. I feel like the Ravens, their ceiling is a little higher. Right now, I think they have a higher ceiling than the fucking Bengals. But we'll see. And then we got the team at the top of the North, which no one saw coming, the Steelers. Steelers is the same problem I have with the Patriots, same problem I have with a lot of teams with the fucking offense. Defense looks fucking great, but without Minkah Fitzpatrick, that's fucking scary. TJ Watt's balling the fuck out. We'll see how they look. I don't know if the offense has room for improvement, because I believe in the offense. I actually think Najee Harris is way more talented than people fucking, they do not give him enough credit. And I think that George Pickens he's looking like he's about to bloom, like he's about to blossom. And fucking Deontay Johnson, that really hurts, but it gives George Pickens a chance to step up. I feel like the problem is the depth in receivers is a little too low, but Freiermuth, he looks fucking good. The O-line for the Steelers could be a little shaky, and Kenny Pickett is, he hasn't developed the way I feel like they wanted him to yet, but I'm not giving up on him yet. I feel like the Steelers have a chance. It's just that offense has got to get it together. It's early in the season, a lot of new pieces, a lot of injuries. We'll see how the Steelers look. I'm not sure how banged up their O-line is, but I'm sure they're probably suffering some injuries there too. We'll see. Then we get to the division I couldn't wait to talk about. You got the AFC West. Oh boy. It looks like it's still running through Kansas City again. You got the Broncos, who their defense didn't even want to show up to play against the Dolphins. They look like fucking shit. Offensively, both sides of the ball, they're getting beat on the line. Fucking can't run the ball because the offensive line sucks. Can't pass the ball because the offensive line sucks. Russ actually doesn't look as bad as he did last year, but he definitely hasn't helped. There's been some plays where, he's missed some guys too. They've shown that. But I definitely, I don't have much to talk about with the Broncos because it's pretty apparent they're fucking ass. Defense has got to be better though. It absolutely no fucking excuse for 70 points. I mean, that is embarrassing. But not as embarrassing as the other team, the Chargers. It's right above them in third place, and that's because that team can't seem to fucking hold on to a lead to save their fucking life. I've never seen a team that loves to choke away leads the way they do. And they almost fucking lost to the Vikings. They wanted to give the Vikings that fucking game so bad, and the Vikings just wanted to give it right back to them. And they were able to squeak out a win. They definitely couldn't afford to go 0-3. But, man, I think they're looking rough right now. They have the talent, but then Mike Williams is hurt. So now they got to hope the fucking Parham or fucking, they got to hope that he could step up. You got to hope the fucking, Johnson can step up. You got to hope the fucking, Carter can step up. All these fucking young guys. You're going to be relying on them because Keenan Allen, they're going to start just fucking targeting him now. Austin Eckler's had some fucking problems. He had his agent died. He had an injury. Jonathan Kelly just failed to deliver when he was given the fucking chance to take the ball and run with it. Defense has been fucking abysmal. They allowed fucking 800 yards going into fucking week 3. And that's fucking terrible. Brandon Staley has been the issue with that team, and it's so apparent. Everyone knows it, and he still has a job. I just feel like the Chargers, man, unless they do something about that, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. But we'll see. Got the Raiders, and to be honest, I don't even know how they're ranked above the Chargers. I feel like it must just be because, I don't know, they're tied. I guess they're both tied a second. Both already lost a divisional game. Neither of them have won at home. Or, no, they haven't. Chargers didn't fucking lose a divisional game. What am I talking about? The Raiders... Oh man, Jimmy G is gonna be a problem. I don't see him playing it. He's been struggling already. Devontae still looks good. I don't know what's going on with the run blocking. It did not look good. Everyone wants to blame fucking Josh Jacobs, but they haven't been creating the holes that he was getting last year. This dude was exploding out of them bitches. He has looked a little shaky, but run game's not there. Defense is just as terrible as ever. They choke in fucking moments where they have the fucking game 1-2. They're just as bad as the Chargers. Raiders got some fucking problems, man. I don't know how to fix it either because I know they have kind of a similar issue. Their coach sucks, Josh McDaniels. So it's I don't know. Oh, but we're going to end it off with the Chiefs, and then we'll go into a little bit about the future of the podcast. And, man, oh man, the Kansas City Chiefs. Offense definitely started off rough. It was bad. Seen enough from Richie James. Kadarius Toney has tried to make up for it. I don't think he's dropped a catch since. Oh no, I think he did drop one on a screen or something like that. But he's looked better with his hands, but now he's seeming to second guess everything. I know he's fucking he's not racking anymore. Kelsey coming back definitely helped. Beat the piss out of the Bears, so it's not really much of a testament. Granted, I hate when people always try to use that. Well, it was because it was the Bears, bro. I'll look at it like this. I mean, the same thing with the Cowboys. People were saying, oh, it's the Giants, bro. Here's the thing. Other teams aren't doing that. Other teams that you think are in a better position offensively are not doing that. Packers took the whole game to score 38 points against fucking Bears. Chiefs got that done in 2 quarters. It's so I mean, offensively we were starting to click there. Matt Nagy, I feel like there's some growing pains. New offensive coordinator, completely new receiving core basically. Only returning guys are MVS, Sky Moore, and fucking Kadarius Toney, and it's definitely there's some room for growth. I'd love to see Justin Ross get involved more, but maybe they see something that I don't. Rashee Rice looks good when he doesn't drop balls. I mean, he had a couple of drops that were costly too. Running game looks great when we actually do it. That's the problem I have with it. Fucking Pacheco looked great last game, but that's also because he got all the handoffs. The other few fucking games, they didn't give them the ball at all. Clyde, they still have faith in him, which I kind of thought that was gone, but he was looking good too. They designed plays up for him. He looks good. Definitely impressed with Noah Gray. Always knew he kind of was talented, but didn't expect him to step up like he did in some of those games. Blake Bell still looks good too. Love the tight end core that we have. Love Jody Fortson. He just can't stay healthy. Defensively is where I'm shocked with the team. You know, McDuffie looks fucking great. He was PFF rank 1 out of all the corners in the league. Chris Jones came back, definitely helped, but even without him, we were doing really good. Fucking Karlaftis has 16 hurries, which is like, he's like 3rd in the league for precious hurries or whatever. He's looking really fucking good. I mean, he's in the same talks as Hutchinson, TJ Watt, all them. So when you're in that kind of group of guys, like you're doing something right. I don't care who you're playing. So the pass rush looks good. Steve Spagnuolo, hate how predictable his calls are at times, but it works when he goes up against these younger quarterbacks. I feel like it's gonna be a massacre against the Jets. But man, I just want to see the defense stay consistent. I want to see the offense get a little better. I want to play. This will be a good test for them because they are going to be playing a really good fucking defense in the Jets. Little worried because of the receiving core, but I'm sure we'll get it figured out. We're going to have plenty of chances to have the football in our hands since the Jets aren't going to do shit. They're going to be fucking punting that bitch the whole game. We're going to see how good the Russian defense looks. Look good so far. We're going to be tested because we're going up against some elite running backs. But yeah, I mean, Chiefs, I wouldn't say they're the forefront of the teams that are, going to win it all, but how can you not fucking have them up there, though? And they still, until questioned, until, shown that they look like shit, which they don't. They still look like a solid fucking football team. I don't know how you can bet against them. I know I'm a fucking Chiefs fan. I'm from Missouri, Kansas City area, St. Joe. But, man, I don't know how you can bet against them right now. So, just for that alone, I would say in the AFC right now, it's probably the Dolphins, but there's still an asterisk next to that. I feel like the Chiefs and the Bills and the Bengals just have as good a shot. Ravens have a shot. Browns have a shot for seeding alone. They're already 2-0 in the division. Patriots, if they can get their offense to get, there's a lot of teams that have a shot. I feel like realistically though, Dolphins, Bills, Bengals, Chiefs. But that's about all I got for y'all. Oh, and if you wanted me to put those in order, Dolphins, then Chiefs, then Bills, then Bengals. That's about all I got for you guys today when it comes to football talk. Now to wrestling talk. Show may be moving to Spotify permanently. Not sure yet. I'm thinking about doing the Spotify for podcasters. I want to stay on Podbean, but might be doing a rebranding too. Don't know if it's going to remain J Rich Talks or not. But yeah, we'll see. Still going to be live streaming, so you can still catch the show on YouTube or Twitter. Not going to be doing Twitch anymore. But yeah, no, I mean, as of right now, that's where it's looking like. I might do the Spotify thing. Definitely might be creating a Patreon. Especially for some of those archival episodes. And then, yeah, that's about all I got. Still going to do wrestling. Might be doing just pay-per-views, but don't give up hope on the Monday and Friday night SmackDown. I may just cover WrestleMania season or something like that, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to talk to Devin about it. I don't want to cover Monday Night Raw and SmackDown every fucking week. And I damn sure don't want to do it in the fall time during football season. So, I mean, I even thought about doing like 6 months on, 6 months off. Like, I'm at that level. Like, so we'll see. I always plan on doing the PLEs though. We're going to definitely bring that. You'll never miss out on a PLE. I'm definitely going to be doing PLE still. Well, I did one. But it'll never happen again. We'll not be covering AEW. I think your fan base is fucking disgusting, and your product is fucking disgusting. Not a fan of WWE either, so this is not a fucking biased thing. If anyone should know that, just listen to the fucking podcast. But the cults, fucking weirdos that watch that, I gotta stop before I go crazy. But I was literally just talking about how I wasn't gonna go. Just, no, fuck AEW, fuck your fucking fan base, fuck you fucking weirdos on social media, fuck how you treat people, fuck how you talk to people. Your parents should have fucking swallowed, motherfuckers. So yeah, every run in I've seen some really good people that have just gotten treated like shit by those fucking idiots. I don't care if not all of us are like that. The actions of the fucking vocal majority of your minority fucking audience, because that's what they are. They are a minority audience. They're a small audience. They're a fucking audience that keeps leaving every week. No one's watching the shit. And the people that are there are the reason that company's going to the fucking whatever. I'm done. So we'll not be covering AEW. Fuck that company. We'll not be covering Impact. We'll not be covering anything else. We'll just do WWE. UFC reviews, they may or may not come back. May just be like thrown into like some sports talk thing. I kind of want to do a show where we just kind of bullshit for like 2 hours, me and the boys, and just talk about all kinds of sports and bullshit. But UFC, they may come back. I don't know yet. And then, yeah, that might be it. That's all I got for you guys. So make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Definitely follow the podcast on all forms of social media, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. And keep your eyes out on Spotify and Apple and Google Podcasts as well. We'll see. The show might be coming back to those platforms as well. I'm not concrete if I'm going to go straight to, Spotify for podcasters, but yeah, definitely keep your eyes on that, and definitely make sure that you're watching YouTube and the Twitter section, because we will go live when we do these reviews. Some of these will be pre-recorded, like this one, but not all of them will be, and we'll have that live engagement. This one just pre-recorded, is on the cuff, getting this out of the way. Wasn't able to film with Noah this week, wasn't able to film with him the past 2 weeks, but we'll get that all under control, and we'll see you guys next week on the Week 4 episode on Wednesday, and have a good day. It's time! Mahomes is the greatest. And the Chiefs have won Super Bowl 57! Travis Kelce down the sideline! WrestleMania! It's Luka Magic, baby! 3 for 3! Kobe Bryant with 81 points. LeBron for the baseline! You're listening to J-Rich Talk. J-Rich Talk. J-Rich Talk. And it starts now.